FITMAN Support Webinar to the accelerators. My name is Caterina Agignotti, and together with Claire Hooper and Jesus Benedicto, we're gonna present this webinar. Before starting, I would like to tell you that this meeting is recorded, and if you have any objections about it, please let us know now. So to start with the purpose of this support webinar, the main purpose is to provide an overview of the FITMAN deliverables, the FITMAN technologies, the methodologies for SME and web entrepreneurs engagement, and other support relevant for you, for the accelerators. The support to the accelerators consists of contributing to writing the open call texts, to support in attracting the right SMEs and web entrepreneurs, and to provide any other technical and non-technical support in the context of ICT for manufacturing mainly. We will have the presentation now, and I would like to ask you to mute your microphones, but I see this is fine as we don't have any background noise, and also to keep all your questions for the end of the presentation. We'll have a session and you can address all your questions by using the chat here. And me, together with our FITMAN colleagues, we will answer to all your questions. So, the agenda is first we're gonna introduce FITMAN project overall. Then Claire is going to present FITMAN Phase III package. Jesus is going to present FITMAN specific enablers and platforms, and myself, the SME engagement methodologies, and specifically the methodology for raising technology awareness. So, Claire, please go on.
Okay, thank you, Caterina. So before I dive into the details about the Phase III package from FITMAN, just a few words about the FITMAN project itself, which is probably fairly familiar territory by now, but just to be sure. The FITMAN Phase II project is focused on the domain of manufacturing and ICT. And FITMAN is primarily about these 10 industry-led trials, which are with a big range of different enterprises, from international enterprises that are often household names, right down to various SMEs in a really, really wide range of different manufacturing domains, including the automotive and aeronautics end, but also textiles, furniture, and even assets management within manufacturing. So there's a very big range, both of scale and of domains within manufacturing, that are addressed by FITMAN. And of course, like the other Phase II trials or projects in the FI-PPP, the goal of FITMAN is really to test and apply those generic enablers that are developed by FIWare, as well as creating and making available our own specific enablers. And these are also made available as part of FITMAN platforms, which Jesus will cover shortly. Next slide, please, Caterina. Thank you. Okay, so for the rest of my time speaking, I'll be telling you a little bit about the FITMAN Phase III package. You can find this at the FITMAN website, which is fitman-fi.eu, and then it's /phase- and then 3 I's, as in the Roman numeral 3, -package. What you can see on this current slide are the two main parts of the package. So on the left-hand side, what you can see is the front page of that package. And you can see it begins to go down into a list of the different parts, things that are available, which I'll discuss in a mo. On the right-hand side, what you can see is another page within the package, And this is a list of the FITMAN consultation documents for Phase 3. And effectively what these are versions of FITMAN deliverables that we're making available to participants in the FI-PPP. So there's an awful lot of depth. These are about both technical and non-technical assets. For each one of those documents in the Phase 3 package, there's also a web page that basically gives you a very brief overview. And the idea is that by browsing the web pages on the package in the left-hand part of this screen, you can get an initial idea about the sorts of things that are on offer and what you can find in more depth in the PDF documents that you access in the page on the right-hand side of the screen. Next slide, please. Thank you. So just one note about the consultation documents themselves. Although the rest of the Phase 3 package is entirely openly available and you can just go to that webpage and see everything straight away, to access the consultation documents, we ask that you register to use the package. This is a really straightforward process. It's your average web registration approach, basically. And all you need to do is go to the top right-hand part of any part of the FITMAN web page. There's a little login button. If you follow that, it will give you a prompt to register. So nice and easy approach for being able to access those documents. Next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just tell you a little bit about the broad areas that we cover within the Phase 3 package. So first of all, we have various methodologies and tools. The first set of these relate to one of the earlier work packages in FITMAN that focused very much on the verification and validation of trials. And within that, you can find things including these technical and business indicators, a method and criteria to be used for verification and validation. And this is all rolled up into one package, an assessment package, with its instantiation for FITMAN. So that's hopefully a useful set of tools that you can potentially pick up and use in the context of Phase 3. Other methodologies that are included in the package include methods around the area of SMEs innovation and supporting engagement with SMEs and web entrepreneurs, as well as best practices and lessons learned. Katerina will be talking in some depth about one of those methods that is particularly relevant for Phase 3 shortly. Next slide, please. Thank you. So another part of the Phase 3 package is really very much focused on the technical outputs of FITMAN, particularly its architecture and its trials. So this includes outputs right from the start of FITMAN up to the present day. And right from the start of FITMAN, we have things from first and third work packages that look at things like the baseline system, effectively, of FITMAN. And that covers things from the IT requirements of all of the trials, through to looking at the FIWare generic enablers and selecting them, giving reasons for this, and how we're going to instantiate them, right the way to the reference architecture for FITMAN. Hand in hand with that baseline system information, we have information about the experimentation sites for FITMAN. And here we're looking at things like the infrastructure and platforms for the trials, as well as their business cases. So this is just a sample of the sorts of things that are included in that package. Next slide, please. Thank you. So there are also additional materials on top of these things. So far, what I've described to you is effectively a packaging up and making accessible of existing FITMAN deliverables from all different parts of the project. But as well as that, we've got some specific things that we've worked on within as part of generating the package. So as well as providing a quick, handy lookup for the terms and conditions of the FITMAN specific enablers, there's also a set of checklists, for example. So these include, in the legal context, an analysis of legal issues in the context of smart, digital and virtual factories. And this looks at things like data protection, confidential information, intellectual property rights, service level agreements, and so on. There's also information about business models. So we have a checklist of commonly used online business models. And we also have a set of external resources relevant for someone who's working in that area of manufacturing and ICT. So this includes things to do with EFRA, to do with other EC projects and initiatives, factories of the future, and so on. In addition to that, we have information about the best practices for intermediaries, and this is about best practices for connecting with SMEs and web entrepreneurs. So this is, again, hopefully relevant for the Phase III Accelerators. And we also have a lessons learned document where we went through the process of interviewing a set of people who had newly joined the FI-PPP in the context of FITMAN. we analysed those interviews and extracted lessons learned about joining the FI-PPP, obviously something that's very relevant at this stage of things with Phase 3. And of course, there's those consultation documents as well. Could I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So in addition to this set of materials that's present on the website, we also have a set of support services. The primary mechanism is our dedicated support email address, which you can see on the screen. That's fitman-support@txtgroup.com. So it's a very straightforward process. Just send us an email on that address. And we've got a system in place. We've got first and second line support ready to go and deal with your queries, however detailed or high level they may be. In addition, in the case of non-confidential queries, then we'll be looking at hosting questions and their answers on the FITMAN FAQ to make things more accessible in the future. But we're here to respond to you in person if you email us. The other thing to mention is we're very happy to provide a service for notification about updates. The Phase 3 package I've described so far is an evolving thing. So the FITMAN project is ongoing at the moment and still producing outputs that we want to make available to Phase 3. And for that reason, we're continuously making updates, adding fresh outputs of FITMAN. If you're interested in hearing when these updates appear on the website, then please just let us know. Either contact us on the support email address or via our social media streams, which you can see links to those on the current screen. And you're welcome to either let us know if you want to know when there is any update made, or if you want to know when there's an update made in a specific domain. So that might be, for example, that you're interested in digital factories, or that you're interested in non-technical assets or some particular methodology. Either way, just let us know and we'll handle that very happily. Could I have the next slide, please? Okay, thank you. So basically, to sum up on the Phase 3 package side of things, the aim of the package is that we provide both information and services for Phase 3 participants. And that information is a collection of the existing FITMAN outputs and deliverables, but also those supporting materials I mentioned, the checklists and the terms and conditions. And that's very much accompanied by the services, by the dedicated email address for your queries, the FAQ and notifications. This is online and available now. Please do take a look. And if you have any questions, as Katerina said, we'll handle those at the end of the webinar. And meanwhile, at this point, I'm handing over to Jesus to tell you a little about the specific enablers and platforms.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Jesus Benedicto from Atos, and I will give you an overview of the components of the platforms developed in the FITMAN project. So initially, on the basis of the developed generic enablers in FIWare, and looking for some needed solutions to the manufacturing domain, we identified the lack of some functionalities not covered by the generic enablers, which for us are critical to the manufacturing domain. So in this sense, we have developed different components, more concretely the specific enablers, to solve these missing functionalities. Then, managing both the generic enablers and the specific enablers, we have composed 3 different reference platforms for the specific factories and feature domains: smart, digital, and virtual. This is more or less the big picture that we have do here. So now we are going to go more in details to the specific enabler that we have developed. Here you can see that we have developed or composed 3 different platforms, more concretely 3 conceptual reference platforms, each of them focus on a specific factory of the future domains, one for the smart, digital, and virtual factories of the future, and which are composed of a set of FIWare GIS and FITMAN specific enablers interconnected among them. So here you can see the 15 specific enablers we have developed, and they are divided in the 3 different platforms. 4 in the smart factory platform, 7 in the virtual factory platform, and 5 more in the digital specific platform. All of them are open source components for manufacturing, and as we can see before, you can get them and download and to try to test and use in your projects. All of this information, go on please, Catherine. All of this information are in the FITMAN catalog, which is the central repository for the implementation of these specific enablers. And there you will find all the information, documentation, tools that you need as a developer and also a project manager or people who want to do some specific development. And then there is all the information that you need to have. You have the documentation of the component, you have also the download links, and for sure the clear defined terms and conditions to use these components. Also here in the catalog, you can get some technical support. We provide inside the catalog mechanisms for supporting all the FITMAN platforms and the specific enablers. Is a use address to the FITMAN Forces project, which hosts all the code and the binaries for these specific enablers. Also the virtual machines with the specific enabler developed inside, and you only need to download this virtual machine and then to start this machine and then to start using the component. And also, if you want, you can contact us via feedback with different buttons which are available for each specific enabler. If you go inside the some specific enabler and in the right of the screen, you will see like a button. Then clicking in this button, you can get some feedback for this specific enabler. And also, if you need some more specific support, you can mail to the address set by Claire, the FITMAN support txtgroup.com. So now we're going to go more in detail to the platforms. As I commented before, we have developed after several months of work on the selection of the generic specific enablers, some integration work, some assessment and validation. So currently we have 14 generic enablers and 50 specific enablers. Total 29 components. And then we have divided these components in 3 platforms. In this, where we are showing now the Smart platform. This Smart Factory platform is the composition of several Gs and specific enablers, which deals with the optimization of the production processes, mainly in terms of production cost reductions, efficiency energy usage, improvement in production reliability, also in the production matching usage. And we do this through the monitorization and the management of the production process and of its components. And then it aims to collect some information for the shop floor to support the real-time decision, exploiting this data, and for sure improving the predictive maintenance by monitoring the machinery of the shop floor. As you can see, it's composed by 5 firmware Gs and 4 FITMAN specific enablers. And in regard to the specific enablers, which is more in our site, this platform integrates the shop floor data collection, which provides some mechanisms for data capture and RFID tags, and for integration some wireless sensor networks. Also, we have the secure event management, the same, adding mechanisms for event distribution in a controlled and safety manner, just providing some security ways to deliver the information. Also, we have the dynamic CDP, which enables the very complex real-time processing. And also we have the dynamic visualization and interaction, the dvisual, which is in charge to provide visualization and synchronization functionalities for different clients. In particular, is more focused to the web clients. And then Catherine, you can click. And then this platform is more focused for the real-time data collection and processing for shop floor operations. In reference to the next platform, the digital platforms, is intended to facilitate the fast and cost-effective development of innovative services and applications that connect some people, blue collars, workers, engineers, production engineers, white collars workers, and other people involved in some business processes, with information required to perform their tasks. So in this sense, the reference platform is especially intended to provide support in the development of advanced and 3D data visualization services and applications. Here you can see that this is composed by 3 firmware GEs and 4 FITMAN specific enablers. And in reference to the specific enablers, they extend the main functionality here of these specific enablers are to extend the front end and also the backend capabilities of the digital platforms. For example, the mashup capability of the GEs are extended by specific capabilities for collaborative functionality, and also the collaborative 3D web viewer supports some functionality for remote collaboration and synchronized visualization of 3D components in the web browser. So, summarizing, this platform is more or less connecting people to information and for sure advanced data visualization. And the last platform we have is the virtual platform. It can be seen as a business collaboration platform where the different actors of the virtual enterprise can collaborate among them in order to achieve business goals. The major functionalities is provided regards tangible and intangible asset management and also for collaborative business process executions. This platform is the most big in number of components. They have 6 generic enablers and 7 specific enablers. And regarding the specific enablers, the business process collaboration is based on the specific enabler collaborative process management, which allow to the model to execute collaborative business processes. They have a lot of different specific enablers, but they are they solve several different specific functionalities. For example, a specific functionality for team building, creation on intangible assets and sharing of machineries, capacities is addressed by the specific the supply chain and business ecosystem application. All information of the different specific enablers, you can go inside the FITMAN catalog and then go navigate from them, and then you can go exactly to see what this specific enabler solves. Summarizing, this is for cross collaboration. So, as I commented before, all the information of these specific enablers developed in the FITMAN are in the FITMAN catalog. Also, the information related to generic enablers, you can go in the firmware catalog. Both of them are very similar, so it's easy to find information inside. Also, the information regarding the platforms is in the FITMAN webpage. And for support for the accelerators, you can go directly also to the Phase III package in the FITMAN webpage. And if you have any other question, please email us at FITMAN Support, from where we can give you solution and some support, specific support for your comments, questions, or some doubts you can have.
Okay, thank you, Jesus. So now I will present SME engagement methodologies. In FITMAN, we have developed a set of methodologies for supporting the Phase III projects in crafting their open calls and in running the projects that will be funded under their open calls. So here I present an overview of all these methodologies that you can find in our deliverable, specific deliverable 8.3. Here I will today I will mainly talk about the methodology on creating technology awareness, which is helpful for running the open calls and attracting um, the um, the target groups that you are willing to attract. So this methodology consists of 5 stages, which is from beginning with defining the overall scope of the technology awareness activities, to establishing an active dialogue with the interested stakeholders and continuously monitoring these activities. So at the first stage, the first stage is about defining the overall scope and target groups related to the awareness activities. Scope. It's very important to define the number of SMEs, entrepreneurs that you want to address, you want to attract, the geographical scope, the definition of time frames that you will carry out your activities, as well as the definition of the expected outcomes. With regard to the target groups, it's very important to define the categories of the groups you want to reach, for example, SME startups, web entrepreneurs in this case, and what kind of activities they are doing. For example, what we did in FITMAN is, with regards to FITMAN, is more related to manufacturing, infrastructure development, etc. To stage 2, it's important to identify the networks, the SME networks, and possible communication means you can use through them in order to reach your target group. What we did in FITMAN is to identify all these relevant networks, and we have created a database which is available in deliverable 8.3, containing all the relevant information, such as, for example, the name of the organization, link to the website, contact details, etc. We also detected the communication means that they have available, so we can see which are the most relevant to be used and the most convenient. In stage 3, it's very useful to carry out a ranking of all the networks you identify in order to first contact the ones that are most likely to create a higher impact. What we did in FITMAN is to rank these networks we identified in terms of some set of criteria we set up. Such as, for example, their size, what kind of organization they are, if they are involved in the research and development activities, etc. And then it's important to match these networks with a most appropriate communication means, depending on the profile and the channels they have in place. In stage 4, it's the most important stage, let's say, because this is the stage where we establish an active dialogue with the interested stakeholders, because it's very important to define beforehand the key messages to deliver and how to reach all the target groups we want to reach, and which are the right communication means to use, and of course to schedule the communication plan that will be in line with the open call time frames, and be able to maximize the impact. Last but not least, it's very important to monitor the activities, and what we did in FITMAN is to set up indicators that are attached to the overall objectives of the plan. For example, I want to reach X number of SMEs, I want to have X response rate, etc. Also, indicators attached to different components of the activities. For example, I want to reach X number of this specific type of organization, for example, national SME organizations or regional development agencies that have bigger reach to SMEs, web entrepreneurs, etc. And last, indicators in order to measure the progress and be able to make corrective actions if needed. So you can find, as I said before, all these methodologies to our consultation documents, as Claire said before, by registering in the FITMAN portal. So now it's time for your questions. You can address your questions by writing using the chat. Do you have any questions? No questions? Okay, it seems it was very clear. Well, if there are no questions...
Hello, I have a question. Please. Thank you.
Yes, please go on.
Hello, my name is
Hello,
Leon
yes.
I'm working at IMANS at the Creatify Benelux Hub. Great presentation, the last one. We are in that same stage. Basically, my question would be, it's very basic. Would you please send us the slides so we can then discuss a little bit more about some specific questions?
Yes, the slides will be available on our website.
Okay.
And I don't know if we should also send the slides. Claire, what do you think? Should we distribute the slides to the accelerators?
Yeah, I think we could email the slides.
Because I think basically my general view is that there are a lot of competencies which are shared across the different accelerator programs. I mean, creating a community is something we all must do, even though the specific enablers may be different. So
yes. But you mean to create like an ecosystem of when you say community, what do you mean exactly?
Well, stakeholders, developers, potential applicants. I mean, that's something we all have to do anyways.
Yes.
And I think it's a very good idea if we share the knowledge and experience, so we don't reinvent the wheel, basically.
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, this is with regard to the methodology on raising technology awareness. This is something we suggest, and we apply it currently in FITMAN, but of course it's something that can be adjusted to any accelerator. and be used as they think best.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks.